Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm K9 Shib, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the first of all X-Space Weekly DAO update series. This X-Space was held February 5th, 2024.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting and informative Bad Idea AI X Spaces. If you're here this early, you are either here because of the reminder link, which is great that you're live, or you're listening to the recording. In either case, you're here very early, which means you're going to have to put up with the setup for an X Spaces, because there's about 5 minutes of stuff that we usually have to do to get all of our speakers in place, to check microphones, to make sure all the connections are good. So if you're listening to the recording, you have the advantage. You can probably skip forward a couple of minutes and see if we're talking with our guests. And if you are here live, then you are stuck with me while we do the setup, and you can't do anything about it, which is fine. You just have to leave your comments down below, which is a great idea to get started with. You need to use the share button, which is down in the bottom corner. That's a great idea to use that. And you can let your friends know that we're here. You can tell everybody about it. Meanwhile, like I said, we have guests coming. We're going to approve microphones, check them out, make sure all of our connections are solid and stuff like that. So today we are here. I am here. Hi. I'll reintroduce the room in a minute, but I'm Shane, and I'm here as Bad Idea AI today. And we're going to be talking to K9 Finance. And we'll also have Mr. Lightspeed here. Today we're talking about the new partnership between Bad Idea AI and K9 Finance. So if that's what you're here for, you're in the right place. You don't have to look around too far, but you do have to wait, because we got to get everybody set up, like I said. So comments down in the bottom right, that purple number in the bottom right needs to go up. Number needs to go up. That's basic crypto. And like I said, you can share the space, share it to your timeline, DM your friends who are interested. You might have some people who forgot the reminder button. Send it to them, please. And in the meanwhile, I'll ask Buzz, because he came up. Is your microphone working? How are you, sir?
Yep, it's working. I'm doing great. Just figuring out my microphone. So can you hear me okay?
Yes. Do I sound fine on your end, sir?
Sound great.
Excellent. Lightspeed came up as well. How's your microphone, sir? How are you today?
You're doing pretty good, Shane. Thanks for having me.
Good. Your audio is 5x5. How am I?
5x5 as well.
Excellent. Cool. And you'll see we got the K9 Finance account up here as well. And like I said, I'm up here as Bad Idea. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to kind of go over some stuff that if you've been following Bad Idea for a while, you might know some of this stuff, but we're starting from the ground up. We're going to do a little bit about what Bad Idea is. We're going to talk about the bots a little bit, and then we're going to roll right into what K9 is, the new premier partner for Bad Idea AI, and also announced for Shib, a partner for Shib, official partner. So we're going to dive into that in about 3 more minutes. I usually do about a 5-minute warm-up. So what we could do would be Lightspeed and Buzz could both pin posts. You guys know, this is just general news for everybody. When you guys go into X Spaces, one of the most powerful functions you have is that pin post function. So you can find any post if you're a speaker, and you can pin it in the top of a spaces by hitting the share button. When you are a speaker in a space, the share button comes with an extra little function. It says share in the name of whatever space you're in. So for example, right now, you would be sharing in the Bad Idea K9 space. So Lightspeed and Buzz will go find posts, and ideally where I keep my posts is in the highlights section. I don't know if you guys use your highlights section, but X has a function where you can have highlights on your profile. So for me, I would dive into my highlights section. I usually keep my most important stuff that I like to pin when I go places, you know, the hits, you know, so to speak. Everybody's got certain things they're going to pin. So when you are in a spaces, make sure you take the time. And sometimes you might want to ask the host. These guys already know that it's allowed up here. But if you jump in somebody's random space, don't be a jerk and pin a post without asking, or at least usually you should ask, unless it's open. Sometimes they're wild like that. Looks like some posts are going up there. We're going to give it 1 more minute, and then we'll do a big room reset. Room reset, for those of you that don't do a lot of spaces, means we're going to pretend like this first 5 minutes didn't happen. I'm going to reintroduce myself, the guests, the room, and it'll be like a new timestamp so that we don't have to put up with that. If anybody likes taking clips or likes a better recording, it always makes it easier to start like that. So we're about a minute away from that. Grab yourselves a drink. If you're a speaker and stuff, shake out those legs one last time. And we're going to sit down for about 55 more minutes and tear it up on spaces. You ready, Lightspeed? Buzz, you ready?
Yep, ready to rock.
I'm ready, man.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
Yeah, thanks for the great introduction.
Yeah.
This is really good. Off to a great start.
Cool. Well, we're at about the 5-minute mark. I'm ready to go if you guys are. So shake it out, and I'm going to do it again. Ready? What's up, everybody? Hello, my name is Shane, and I'm here as Bad Idea AI today, and we are having an X Spaces event today to meet K9 Finance, both a new partner for Bad Idea AI as well as Shib. So I'm not going to stay up here too long and tear it up. What I want to do is introduce our guests. You'll notice up in the speaker spots, if you're here live, you're going to see Mr. Lightspeed up here. Mr. Lightspeed, how are you today?
Doing well, Shane. Thanks for having me. Look forward to talking.
Absolutely, man. Love having you up here. I know the community loves any chance they get to talk to you, so I appreciate you being here. And you'll notice the K9 Finance account is up here, and we're talking to Buzz today. Buzz, how are you?
I'm doing great. Super busy, but busy is good in the land of crypto. It means that things are moving, and K9 is growing. So really happy to be here.
Good, and I'm glad to get you here. We set this up ahead of time, so I'm glad you carved it out. We set up about an hour to be here today, so we're going to tear through really quick some subjects. We know that when you come into these spaces, we don't like to assume, or I always don't like to assume, that you guys have always been here and you always know everything. So we're going to bounce off a couple of bad idea related things at first, talk about who we are, why we're here, why they gave us the microphone today, and stuff like that. But what we really want to talk about is K9 Finance. Give them the platform to talk about what it is that has got all this attention on them, why we're partnering with them. We're going to let Buzz and Lightspeed kind of riff on what their plans are and stuff. And then at the end, we'll do the AMA. We are going to open it up. I've saved at least 10 minutes towards the end for questions and comments and all that type of stuff. So if you've got anything that sparks your interest in the middle of this, you can go ahead and raise your hand, but I'm not going to be doing open speaking until you'll know when we've wrapped it up. It's going to sound, you'll know. It'll be good. So without further ado, let me first introduce myself. My name's Shane. I'm not like the Bad Idea dev. I always remind people, I'm just the dude with the X keys. I'm just one of the guys from the community. So I'm just up here like Mr. Lightspeed. We're a DAO. Bad Idea is a DAO. BAD is an acronym. It stands for Blockchain, AI, and Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And that's represented here by the fact that I'm just running the X account. And we're here today to talk about blockchain, AI, and this DAO. And what I want to talk about first is why I'm in the project, what I like about this thing. So I'm going to let Chris talk about the bots specifically. But Bad Idea AI, this marriage between humanity and AI, it's like this experiment that we're all doing. And I was already into AI before this opportunity came along to be a part of the community here. But when I found out that the bot was integrated and they already had this product on Telegram, I was sold on it. So I want Chris to highlight the functions of this bot, and I want to give him a huge opportunity to speak because I know we carved out this time for him. So Chris, can you tell me a little bit about like how you got to Bad Idea, what Bad Idea is to you, and then I want you to go a little more into the bots and stuff like that, okay?
Okay. So how I got involved was actually about 45 days after its launch. The project needed, and it's a test, right? All these projects that stand up like this is a test of who's going to step up, who's going to be a leader, who can guide it to the next step. And in this case, it was being organized on various listings. The basic stuff like CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and all those other aggregators are needed to make sure that when you're trending in one place, you're trending everywhere, right? People can get visibility, that they can do the research. Basically, you got to be found and noticed, and that's how it starts. And then it went to the exchanges. So that's and evolved into me supporting Bad Idea AI in as many ways as possible. I got other tools in the toolbox, and I dusted off the coding skills and pitched in with the AI chatbot system. And that has also grown quite a bit. And I just wrote a pitch deck today that kind of shows that evolution as well. And so I encourage people to go and give that a read. But Bad Idea AI, to me, to answer your question, Shane, is it's about that intersection between AI and humanity and how we can work together as partners. Even the DAO has to consider when we get our small committee picked, we've already picked them, when they start to help us figure out how we're going to formulate it, they got to formulate it with artificial intelligence as a partner. So how is it going to work when you're using AI as part of your DAO? So that's why we call ourselves an ambitious, sometimes tongue-in-cheek, grand experiment. It could be a disaster, it may not, but we're very darn well honest about it. And everyone knows what we're getting into with this. AI has been our guide. It's written the white paper. It's even picked the tokenomics. I can pick up, I got a video I can show you all of the very first engagement where they set up the personality of a very, very early iteration of Bad Idea AI and how the token got created to its website. Even the current website that we have one under development, you'll see some of that emphasis of AI, particularly Bad Idea AI in its creation. So that's what it means to me. It's more of governance. It's more about social than just simply prompting and getting a response. The bot engages with the community. It's getting smarter. And that's where the K9 mode is going to come when we talk about it later.
Well, and I want to can I touch on the Telegram bots too? Because I think for some of the people in here, if you're not part of the Bad Idea community, your only touch point for what we're doing probably is the bots that have been added to these other groups. If you're in the Shibarium Tech chat, if you're in the Cryptic Telegram, if you're in the K9 chat, you'll see both unprompted and prompted responses from this Bad Idea bot. And there's so much going on if you're not in our groups and seeing the development, hearing the updates and stuff, which is fine if you're not really into that stuff. But what I am into is being able to be on the inside part of AI development. It has been super cool to me to be able to have input or be able to talk about or have the conversations that like AI and ethics, AI and morals. We had a great conversation about that. I know we could do so much about that stuff. So for what do you say to the people who may have only interacted so far with the bot? Can you talk about like the bot's journey, what that's been like for you?
Boy, it's been a really steep learning curve, and I've learned a lot. And there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. People think it's as simple as send something through Telegram to a GPT and get a response back, but it's so much more than that, especially when you consider that the knowledge cutoff is April of last year. So how do you talk about projects like K9 that have launched, but AI has no knowledge of it because of the learning cutoffs, right? And that's with the super expensive models. So people can engage in this in a very customized way. It's going to learn about you. It's going to develop a sense of what you've spoken about with it to help it develop more context. So the more you converse with it, the more helpful it gets when it interacts with you or with your group. And with K9, we have another opportunity to see, okay, let's see how a whole community talks and see if the bot adapts well enough or if we have to actually make some corrections. And we found we do need to make some corrections and little tweaks because the conversations are going to be different. And when you talk to Buzz, you're going to see that their topics are a whole lot different than our topics. So how do we tell Bad Idea what's interesting? And it uses the SHIB paper as its basis. So the principles, if everyone goes and looks at the K9 code that's written in the SHIB paper, that's its basis. But we got to work from that. And that's where this partnership really is going to help us, is figure out how can we set it so they can really be a good participant and act like it's just a member of the K9 community.
So when I hand this over to Buzz, and this is going to showcase really well, because when you say we talk about different things in our community, I can't wait for the people that are here that don't know what K9 is doing to really hear the explanation, because I was on the outside looking in at what their particular product is, and I needed something like an AI tool to basically help me wrap my head around it without having to ask other people. I like to use AI to kind of find my own answers instead of bugging my friends, which has been nice lately. But what I want everyone to keep in mind as I hand this over to Buzz here in a second, I'm going to give you one phrase, because Lightspeed said all of the things here except the buzzwords that I want to use that I've heard tossed around lately. And I think you're going to hear this a lot more. And I know Lightspeed will love this. You're going to hear a lot more about wrapped GPTs or wrapped GPT products. And that's just a nice way of saying like it's a custom wrapped GPT. It may be something that uses a base, but it has been so custom designed, or it goes through so many different functions to be specific to a company or specific to a brand or specific to a particular type of customer interface that people are selling now in the GPT store. So many versions of custom wrapped GPTs. And this leads to why I think K9 is going to benefit so much from having the ability to do this, because like if anyone's like me, they need to do that research and they'll be able to do it through this simple Telegram chat. And I want to hand it over to Buzz now, if you're there, Buzz, so that you can go into like as if no one had heard about it before, because assume that someone in our community knows nothing about K9 and your product what would you say to anybody about hello and welcome to K9? How does that look for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first I'll give a little bit of background. So we, as K9 Finance, are also a DAO. I have been in the crypto space since about 2016. I've always been in it as a product builder. And then in, I would say, DeFi summer of 2020, got super into farming tokens, eventually got very, very much into Lido, building products on top of DeFi applications. And I had this idea to build my own DeFi project and was tinkering around with our team. And one of our advisors is the founder of ETH Toronto, which Shib was the main sponsor at last summer, where they launched Shibarium. So it was there where our advisor introduced me to the Shib team. And immediately as we were talking, the light bulb kind of went off. Like, wow, a product like this would be amazing for the Shib ecosystem. So K9 Finance, in a nutshell, is Lido Finance, for those who are familiar with that on the ETH network, but built directly for Shibarium. So what this is it's a liquid staking token that allows people to secure the Shibarium chain by delegating Bone to validators and receive a reciprocal receipt token called K9 Bone directly on the Shibarium chain. So not only can people now delegate their Bone to a validator, which right now, if they do that, it would have to be locked up. They get a fixed reward from that, but then they can't use that money. It's locked. They get a reward from that. If they want to redeem it, they would need to wait a certain period to get it back. With our product, they can delegate their Bone to a validator, and they get a one-to-one representation that they can use for whatever they wish in the Shibarium ecosystem. So that could be for other trading activities. It could be for purchasing NFTs, using other products within Shibarium. It could be using it to leverage their capital on the K9 Finance platform and earn even more yield. So this is directly contributing to the TVL of Shibarium, which means that there's going to be more value on the Shibarium chain, a network to build more DeFi applications on top of. And the more people that use Shibarium means that more Bone is being used for gas fees on Shibarium, and more Bone being used for gas fees on Shibarium contributes directly to burning more Shib. So that's kind of the high-level picture of why this is important for Shibarium. But in a nutshell, K9 Finance is that public infrastructure that's going to allow for people to secure the chain, but also to have this liquid token that they can continue using.
That's such a great explanation. I can tell you in the last couple of weeks, you've had to polish that to such a great point. What everybody needs to take away from that, like what's the long and short of that is he called it Lido on Shibarium. And I'm not a huge fan of comparisons, but that's such a good way to look at it. That's such a great way to look at it. Being able to lock up that token and then be able to use it on the other side freely back and forth and be able to claim it on the back side. I had to look it up the same way and stuff. So I actually used the bad idea bot, frankly, to dive into that. And Lightspeed, how familiar with you were with Lido and processes like this were you before K9?
No, so this is an opportunity for me to learn more about it. I've been lucky to see an early draft, and I can't wait for him to get the white paper out because it will really explain things in a great detail. But there's still opportunities out there where I can kind of put tokens that I am willing to lock up for a period of time, or I'm going to be hodling it for a pretty long time. Let's get it to work. I just love their concept. I like that concept about getting a validator. I like that they're going to be securing the network. I like that what comes back from securing that network is then generated as part of their yield setup that they have. And so they got a workflow that steps everyone through it, and it's all tied together and connected together in some way that's pretty cool. And it's not something that's just going to be inflationary like a standard staking pool system or whatnot. Theirs is actually tied to a concept of utility, and I think that's where the value comes in. And so obviously anyone is going to be sitting there and putting their energies into securing and supporting Shibarium is something that we want to partner up with. Thus, that's why we're here.
Yep. And I'm on the retail side of this, just looking at it like, well, that makes so much sense to me. And I've just never messed with it on Ethereum either. So now it's kind of got me backtracking and looking at like, well, what have I been missing everywhere? It's opened it up. Liquid staking, to go a little bit more into that, Buzz, how long have you been messing personally with liquid staking, not just with K9 and stuff, but I know this isn't the first time you've messed with it, right? This is something you've had in your brain for a long time, right?
Yeah, I was probably like one of the, so when Ethereum transitioned from proof of work to proof of stake, I was probably one of the first people that were actually locking up ETH with Lido. Our other team member, Shima, you can look up his DeFi stats and his wallet. He's in the top 1% of people in terms of DeFi activity on the ETH network. He's crazy. He's a huge degen there on the ETH network, so he deserves a lot of recognition for what he brings to the team and the DAO as well. But for those who are unfamiliar with Lido and liquid staking, Zach Humphreys actually made a really, really great YouTube video that I pinned in the chat. So it's a really good breakdown of why this is comparable to Lido. And so I would encourage people to watch that too. So he goes into some great detail there and explains it, I think, very, very well, and also in an entertaining manner too.
Yep. And I rely on YouTube so much for things like that. So I was going to say the same thing. There's a resource library of Lido related videos and stuff that would translate that knowledge pretty well. Now, this for me, and then I'm going to hand it off to Lightspeed because he's bubbling to talk about K9 mode, and I want to get him the chance. But I want to talk about why I think K9 mode matters to me as the person who isn't the programmer or the guy who already knew about liquid staking. Man, I didn't know enough about any of this stuff. So the idea that there's going to be a specific mode speaks to me as your average retail investor, because this is going to offload so much work for the moderators and admins in K9 related groups. In particular, the idea that it's a multilingual bot will allow multilingual groups to benefit from the ability to simply call upon the bot to answer complex questions, or what's even better is to teach users how to prompt the bot in private to answer every question without flooding the chat. That's an even better skill. So I see it as an educational tool. I see not just K9 mode, but every mode that we have as either entertaining and or educational. But the specificity required to talk accurately about liquid staking without phenomenon like AI hallucinations or improper representations of math and stuff like that. I'll let Lightspeed talk about that stuff. But again, as a person who's here for the grand experiment, man, I'm so excited to watch all that unfold. And I'm so excited to watch Lightspeed sweat. Lightspeed, what do you think about K9 mode?
Well, obviously, I got to deliver, or Buzz is going to yell at me, and so, and that's really it. Buzz is going to get annoyed with the questions over and over again. So if he can just do the / command, just tell the bot to give the answer for the billionth time, it'll just make it a lot easier. But the mode is, in some ways, the easiest, in some ways, the hardest level to work in, because now we're talking about its behavior and its personality and how, and basically how it's going to interact. You know, is it going to be clear and concise? Is it going to be verbose? Is it going to be humorous? What kind of relevance it should attach to certain topics? And so those are kind of, it's really me working with more of its personality and shape that up and focus. Where to kind of direct its attention, because there's an extensive database, and as it picks through it, we want to make sure it's still picking out the right stuff. And so it gives an opportunity to overrule, for example, the other agents and what they're pushing up for knowledge. Sometimes it needs another check, and sometimes what's pushed up is not relevant. So that's the last layer, is just to kind of help it as it engages with the community to reduce those hallucinations that you were talking about, so it can be accurate. It's still going to make mistakes, and you're going to have to moderate it like any other human. Like, you know, you got a teammate who speaks too soon on something, gets it just a bit wrong, so you got to kind of remove the post or correct them. AI is going to be the same way. AI is going to need supervision. But what we want it to do, though, is make the life of admin and mods easier. So I'm really eager to work on this mode and see if that indeed becomes the case.
And as someone who used it as moderation, not just in the bad idea group, but in other groups that I've seen it used in. I'm excited to see how the K9 group and moderators find it useful too, and get all that feedback and watch you change it. Now, Buzz, you've had the bad idea bot in the group, but it's not featuring the K9 mode yet. Do you find yourselves already kind of getting those responses from the bot? I know we did one the other day where, and I heard you use it as an example where I used it for that quick explanation about fully diluted value and stuff like that. That has huge value, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's I think that the education level that the bot can provide is going to be great. And when I think about Shibarium versus other chains, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, but I've built on a lot of other blockchains. So Ethereum, Cosmos chain, and like Injective, Solana, pretty much every chain that you can think of, Avalanche. And the difference between how these chains started is very stark from Shibarium. So a lot of these chains, when they were nascent, started off with a heavy development community, and there were so many amazing products that were built, but they all struggled to get users. Whereas Shibarium, I think, is a lot different. So there's seemingly millions of people out there who are familiar with SHIB or hold SHIB. I mean, SHIB is a top 10 coin right now. It's so well known. But the retail activity is so much more vast than any other layer 2 blockchain that's ever been launched, in my opinion. But I think that the development community is quite nascent. So a lot of people that hold SHIB are a part of the community, and this could be an overgeneralization, but are a little bit less technical than other chains. So what I think the bot really, really helps with is education. And that's what we're going to be focusing on with K9 too, is trying to really speak true to that DAO mandate, which is bringing DeFi to Shibarium and doing that through content and education. And that, like you said, that was such a great example. So there was somebody who came into our Telegram. They were confused by FDV versus circulating market cap, which is common for people who are coming into the industry for the first time. And rather than me writing out a big paragraph and kind of taking the time away from the development team to explain those things many different times, we were able to use the bot, a simple slash command, and the bot was able to, in 10 seconds, explain exactly what the difference was between the two. And I think that's just a great example of how it's going to be able to educate people and shepherd the new wave of DeFi adoption to the Shibarium community that I think is massive and is exactly whom we're trying to serve.
Dude, we're going to claim back every single lost minute from our productivity this year. It's going to be awesome. I've got a bunch of friends that are also all around me because it's just like AI season right now. And we're all talking about that, like the year of productivity, like where minutes matter. And those little things do matter, like being able to write a small prompt might not seem like a big deal, but if you ever going to have to write that paragraph, 10 or 15 times that week, you claim it back. And it's a big deal. I want to ask Lightspeed, and then I want to ask you the same question, Buzz, because the community members that are down there that might not come up, this is like a put you in the hot seat type of question that everyone would want to know, okay? So brace yourself, Lightspeed. What does this partnership mean for us token holders? What is this all about?
Who's going first? I guess I'm going first.
Oh, hot seat. Do you see the way he tried to throw it to you, Buzz? That's unconscionable.
He always squeezed my shoes. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, but it's a good question. What does it mean? Why the hell is bad idea shilling another project, right?
Yes.
Back in the DGen days, that would be just horrible. How could someone do that? Mr. Lightspeed's a trader. He's talking about another project. But we're talking about something bigger than that. We're talking about Shibarium, and we are in those early stages, and there is no way that this chain's going to go unless projects cooperate, work together, in support of each other. This is just bigger than just us two. Look at all the other projects and the amount of cooperation support between them, and you get an idea that we are embracing an ethos that's bigger than just one of us. I'll always point back to the SHIB paper, and I encourage more project leaders to read that. I know it's not a page turner, and you may need a few nights to get through it because you're going to fall asleep, I'm sure, at some certain points. But this is about bigger than that. And so, what's it mean? Well, we're going to be getting a lot of exposure, obviously. K9 is now aware of it. They got their own circle. look at do the Venn diagram example if you want, but we don't cover the same spheres of influence. And Buzz has also access to resources and people I don't. And he has skills and talents I don't, and others don't, and whatnot. So the match here is really good in terms of synergy. There's going to be times I need to go to Buzz and say, Buzz, can you introduce me to the guy that leads up the ETH Toronto? Because I want to go there. I want to set up a booth. Would you like to partner up with us? We can go 50-50 on a booth and really push the case. So, and yes, Buzz, I am thinking about that. So I'm putting you on the spot on that. But these things can really go more than just what you see. These partnerships are very substantial. We're not just talking, hey, we're partner, throw up a picture on a Twitter and let it go. There's big stuff here that happens. Our product is in there. They're giving exposure to the product. The product thing will be found and installed in other places, which is then good for us as holders because we want product adoption right now. We want as many people to use it. I'm sharing those statistics all the time. That is a gift. Use those statistics, chart them out, do whatever you want with them. But user growth will eventually mean revenue. And that's what we want. And so that is how they're helping us, even indirectly. And a lot of people don't look at it from that way. But even indirect support or even passively supporting can come to become something very tangible for us, Shane.
So even an example like the new advertisement you might be seeing right now on the Bad Idea bot in your Telegram group. That's right. You can click right now and be directed to the K9 Finance website through the Bad Idea bot. That's an example, right?
Right. And Buzz contributed to sponsoring some of the development. So when we took a portion of that, we bought back some bad tokens. Then we took function number 2 in the smart contract and we burned it. And then it was subtracting total supply. And that's exactly the process we want. I want to get an ad-free version, for example. So some people want to pony up and give a little gift to Bad Idea AI. I'll get you an ad-free mode, for example. These are all things I want to do down the road. And,
good examples.
And so these are all things that the community can do. Hey, if we do this, you don't like the ads or you want to get an ad? There's ways to make it work. And in the end, it allows us to provide free AI for everyone because all the other models have a charge concept. You buy a number of tokens that you want to spend to use the AI until you have finished spending them, right? So they charge you basically on a per prompt basis. And the bigger your prompts, the more you're spending. Whereas we're trying to go for a freemium model. And as long as we can keep drawing in that kind of support, we can continue to sustain that. So that's what we're trying to do. And so far, it's been successful. Even at very modest levels, it's been successful.
So the intake of that continual ad money is a great example. And I'm going to ask Buzz the same question. The good news is that he had time to prepare because you got to do your answer first. So hot seat for Buzz, same question. If I'm a holder of K9 and I'm looking at this right now and you guys are getting all these new partners, what is the purpose of a partnership with Bad Idea for me, the token holder? What does this mean for me?
Yeah, well, first I'm going to talk a little bit more on a macro level. So I think there's, 5 official partnerships on the SHIB website. So you're looking at almost 50% representation of those companies within this partnership here and up on the stage. And I think that we're all working towards the same mandate and goal to grow the Shibarium ecosystem together and the SHIB ecosystem. So I think that it's important to grow with one another. Second to that, for our community of why to be excited about this, now that we are sponsoring the bot and we're working with Bad Idea AI, I believe, and correct me if these statistics are correct, but there's 110 different Telegram rooms that the K9 advert on the Bad AI bot is being given to. So in every one of those rooms, every single time that the bot speaks, they're seeing, hey, join K9, the newest partnership. So that's a great element of advertising there, and we're very, very happy to support it. But then on a general level, I think what people are going to see from our community with K9 is that we believe that the success of our partners lifts all boats. So you're going to see us partnering with a lot more projects. And this will come in the form of development partners whom we're working with to build better technology, media partners who we're providing news for to help fill out their news calendar, but also to distribute our message to grow our community more. And the other will be in co-marketing partners. So partners that we want to work with and teach each other's communities about what they're offering. And I think that's a really great growth tactic, especially for a DAO, to reach as many people as we can, educate them about this new wave and new mandate of DeFi coming to Shibarium. So collaboration is going to be very, very important for the K9 DAO. And very happy that Bad AI serves as that first official collaboration. And for the Bad AI community, I want to emphasize another benefit here is that we have an amazing advisory team that we've built for K9 Finance, which is actually called the Round Table of Dogs, sort of the people that are going to be the council for the DAO. And all of those advisors, I mean, including myself, having been in crypto for a long time, have access to so many projects, all of which have Telegram channels. And in making this partnership very official and in working together in concert pretty much every day with our two projects and building this K9 mode, we're naturally going to be introducing the Bad AI bot to so many more Telegram communities. So I've already communicated with many builders that I already know, and we'll be introducing them soon to the Bad AI team to integrate the bot into those communities across all different blockchains. So Solana projects and ETH-based projects. And I think that not only gives more exposure to the Bad AI project, but it's this cyclical cycle that also benefits K9 because, of course, we have the advert on there. So we're motivated both ways to grow how many rooms the Bad AI bot is in, because the Bad AI bot's going to be there and it's going to be promoting K9. So it's such a grassroots partnership that stems from being together of these official partnerships. But I think there's just so much growth potential that can happen between both companies.
I agree, and tracking that daily active user and all that data is exactly what Lightspeed is into. And what's going to be cool is I know he's going to put a little tick mark on the chart when your ad started running and just watch the group count and user count and stuff go up. That's very satisfying. As the guy who's putting the sweat equity into coding the bot, I know that that's where the gratification comes from for him. So I appreciate all the work that you're doing to get the word out there. And at this point, like 35-ish minutes into the spaces, I haven't had anybody else raise their hand, but now would be the time if you want to come up, because we are cruising on our timeline. We've done a great job so far, smooth as butter, in my opinion. But if you have anything that has sparked a question, any comments, or you just want to come up and hang out, we're still going to be around for at least another 10 or 15 minutes or so. But now's the time to start getting people up, and I can set up microphones and you can get ready to speak and stuff like that. So I saw some of the comments. I did look through. We're up to 11 down in the bottom right corner. You still have time to leave written comments as well. If you're somewhere where you cannot speak and you had something you wanted addressed or a question, you could type it down there. There was nothing down there that needed addressing, but I did appreciate all the comments that are down there. Some very nice stuff. I did notice also that Mr. Lightspeed mentioned that the Tangem wallets were sold out, which I'm going to take a minute to just kind of highlight that and take a victory lap. Yeehaw! We got rid of all the Tangem wallets. Was it 350? Wasn't it what we started with, Lightspeed?
Yeah, 350 custom designed wallets are completely sold out. You'll never see them again. They're a unique design. And because they're a unique design, it's something we can attach further value to outside of just being a hardware wallet. You can attach some other value to that physical item. So yeah, let's see what we think up in the days coming.
Yep, that was a tight one, and I want to highlight that there was a lot of good effort on the behalf of the whole community to get those moved. But two things I want to shout out specifically would be to Paula, one of our community members who is a moderator for our Thailand group, personally was responsible for the movement of close to about 40 units of those Tangem wallets, and it's absolutely amazing. And it's also 3 a.m. where she is at, so I do not expect her to be here right now, but she'll listen back, and when she hears this, she'll be thrilled to hear that acknowledgement. We all appreciate that very much. And then the other award is going to go over there to Cryptic for the work that they did with their FFT collection. Those guys came in the 11th hour and absolutely saved our butts from the fire by picking up 38 wallets in a bulk order the other day. And they're distributing those wallets to the holders of their FFT collection, which are their Shiba Saiyan NFTs. We had partnered together with them to help them promote those, and then they were distributing the wallets. It's a really cool deal. Networking and partnership, like we've said, that's the key to success, right? If we're all going to pull this off, we're going to need to do it together, right? Rising tide floats all boats and all those cliches. So thanks very much to Cryptic for the work that they did getting those moved, and then to Tangem, which they're not here right now listening, but frankly, they were troopers through this whole thing. They were very communicative, and if any of you in the future ever get a chance to work with Tangem, it was great. From my perspective, Lightspeed, no question about that, right?
No question at all. We took our cue when Shiba did their custom. It was basically the first one of its kind. We wanted to jump in, become the second of its kind, right? And so we were early adopters, no doubt about it. But we were able to be the first to do it with their version 2.0 card. So again, another early adoption. And so we all take risks with each other and support each other. And this just shows that they can do it, and then they can take it and point back at early successes and say, you want to do it? Look at that idea.
Yep. And the more of you that reach out to them about it, by the way, because I know the number one complaint from everyone has been, they don't support Shibarium yet. Believe me, they've heard that. They know. And whatever it is, they are either are or are not working on it. But the more of you that reach out and say, hey, I got a Tangem, when are you going to support Shibarium? They know. Just don't be rude about it and stuff like that. While I was going on, I did get two people that came up, and I'll go in order of who requested first. So Joe came up for a speaker spot. Joe, how's your microphone? How are you?
Yeah. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Sounds good to me, man. What's up?
Hey, thanks for doing these as always. And yeah, love the shout outs you just gave to Paula and Cryptic for the help with the bad wallets, Tangem wallets. I love mine, finally got it, and using the heck out of it. Go check them out, guys, if you haven't. Huge partnership there. And just an example too of the ways that we partner with folks and have no idea how it's going to benefit in the future. So really excited to see how, even with the known benefits with K9, what it can bring. So I did have a question for K9 real quick, and if you already said it, I had to kind of jump on and off this call, so please just say, go listen to it, and I'll shut up. Since we're giving away our bone to get the K9 during that stake, what other uses or utilities does K9 have, if any? Do you have the ability to kind of stack the staking? Can we turn around and stake our K9 as well? Is there anything else we can do with the token other than maybe exchange it and trade it?
Yeah, so there's two paths for this. So first is using the K9 product, and then the second is what you can do with it outside of the K9 ecosystem, because ultimately it just becomes a liquid representation of your delegated bone. So on the first one, what you can do with it on K9, and it's basically just leveraging your bone that is earning rewards from the validator to earn more rewards on K9. So the steps that you would go through there is you can provide liquidity to K9 bone on ShibaSwap 2.0. For that, you will get a SSLP token, which is their LP token from ShibaSwap 2.0, which is, I think, going to launch within the next month, but I'm not part of that team, so I can't really speak to their roadmap. When you stake that token, you'll get escrow K9, and depending on how long you want to lock up that escrow K9, which is just a soul-bound token, you can't do anything else with it, and only vests into K9 tokens. The longer you lock it up, the more you will earn in terms of APY. And then when that vests into K9, you stake your K9 to earn even more bone from the validator. So it's a circular network that's being built on K9. So ultimately you earn more bone from that circle. Hopefully you delegate more to help secure the Shibarium chain more. You get more K9 bone, and you can continue using it in that leverage circle. And the important thing here is that you can always go the other direction. You can always take your K9 bone and go to K9 and get your bone out of the validator. So there's always a one-to-one representation with bone and K9 bone. And then the second part of the answer to your question would be, what can you do outside of K9? And you can really do anything. So let's say you had 100 bone that you delegated, you receive 100 K9 bone. You could spend 10 bone buying an NFT, or sorry, 10 K9 bone buying an NFT, and you'd be down to 90. But you'd always be able to go back and go the other direction with that 90 K9 bone and receive 90 back. You can trade it with other pairs. We were in talks with platforms already on Shibarium like MarsSwap, of using it there to have other pools where you can maybe earn their native token by staking K9 bone. I think that when you look at LSD products in other ecosystems, it's really difficult to predict many things that you're going to be able to do, because there's going to be other builders that are going to be able to build on top of this. So I anticipate that this is sort of like layer 0 for the potential of DeFi coming to Shibarium. The next step is probably lending and borrowing. So if you look at ETH as a comparable, you kind of have your LSD tokens in Lido, but you also have Aave, Curve, and all of very, very important infrastructure level DeFi projects there. So I anticipate that whether it be other builders that come and build platforms like that, where you can lend, borrow, leverage your earnings, or maybe it's the K9 DAO that's deciding, hey, we have this treasury, let's allocate some of that treasury to building those products to allow people to have more utility with their K9 bone. But the future is sort of unclear in how that's going to happen, and that's kind of the nature of the decentralized DAO aspect of this, is that builders are going to be able to use the tools that we're providing to give more and more utility to your K9 bone on Shibarium. Does that
Is that pretty good? That was awesome. I've actually heard a version of that before, and I know I was just thinking, man, there's so many times the bot is going to save Buzz so much time because I know how often these questions are going to come up. Yeah. I love that you asked, because it's an example of how complex some of these answers can be. This is not something that's surface level, easy to explain, and honestly, it's going to require slick infographics and cool little videos, and the bot having these explanations is going to be a huge part of that. Such a cool thing. Cryptic microphone check. Dave, is that you? How are you?
Hello. How is everybody?
Good, man. I can hear you loud and clear. What's up?
I just wanted to pop in. I mean, it's a big thing for Shibarium with you guys and your partnership. K9, for me, LSDs are, they're fundamental to the growth for change. When you see huge TVLs, it's the lending and it's the LSDs that have a lot of the say in that, I think. So to see that coming on Shibarium in such a mature way, I'm buzzing for it. And to see you guys working together as well, for me, that's the best of both worlds, sharing all of the education, and it's good. It's wicked to see, guys. Apart from that, I wanted to congratulate you on obviously getting the Tangent wallets gone. I almost feel like I don't want to get rid of them now. I want to keep them all for me, but no, we will be distributing them at some point to the holders, and they're a really nice design. The only problem you've given me, Lightspeed, is that I have my SHIB and I have my BAD now, and I'm not too sure what one to use,
No, well, split them up. You know how it is. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So.
That's so funny to picture you sitting there with your Dragon's pile of Tangent wallets that you've yet to distribute to all your winners. That's a funny picture, at least, to think about. You did send me the picture, I guess, after you got the mail the first time of what that looked like on the desk. So I guess I could just triple what that pile looks like in my mind. And by the way, Buzz, I saw you laugh. I assure you, he did not mean to make that pun when he said that. I caught that too. That made me laugh when you said you were buzzing, Dave. You cracked me up. That was fun.
That's an English term, that is. But no, seriously, it's a big step for Shibarium. It's the kind of mechanisms and the financial systems that will make the change successful. So no, it really is good to see, and I am looking forward to it.
Well, and I know builders appreciate builders. I know the things that you guys have been working on too. So watching them work over there has got to be fun for you, watching people take the chain seriously and try and put something substantial down like that. I know how frustrating it can be for you guys. So thank you for coming up. Thank you for the work that you did on the Tangent wallets, man. I can't extend the gratitude enough. And to all the winners, I'm actually looking forward to when you start getting these things posted out and the pictures of everybody getting them, because frankly, we haven't had yet a whole lot of pictures roll in of our wallet holders or the winners from your FFTs and stuff like that. So really looking forward to that. Make sure you send those things and tag us when those come in online. We'll have to figure something out there.
Shane, that sounds like the perfect opportunity for a competition, mate, when they do receive them. So I'm sure we'll take that one offline at some point.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. That sounds great, man. I want to run through, because we're coming up on like 5 minutes before I would normally run through closing. So we've been here for almost exactly an hour. Time is running great. But I'd like to give Lightspeed and Buzz a chance to run through the posts that they chose to pin up top. So if you look up top, if you scroll mobile or desktop, there's some posts that are up there. And I want to give you boys a chance to run through that stuff if you're ready to do that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I can go first.
Sure. Go ahead.
Give Lightspeed a break. So I'll just slide through all of these. So today we announced a major milestone, which is that we've been, we've known this for a while, but it's great to have public recognition that we are an official partner of SHIB. We are now on SHIB.io as an official partner. So that is the first announcement there. You're going to see a lot more coming out about this. Like I said, we're working directly with the SHIB team to shepherd DeFi adoption on Shibarium. So it's going to be a lot of great content that comes out about that, and a lot of fruitful relationships as well. The second is, of course, our partnership with Bad AI. So I encourage everyone to dive deeper into that. We put out an amazing press release that has some more details in there that is related to the partnership. Also, the next pinned on behalf of K9 is that Zach Humphreys made an amazing educational video on K9 Finance explaining what this means for Shibarium, explaining the size of Lido. Lido right now has $23 billion in TVL. So like Cryptic was saying, if you look at these chains that have huge TVLs, it's really the LSDs and the lending and borrowing products that are driving that. And you can all kind of do the math for yourselves of how big could this be for Shibarium. So I think the last time I checked, Shibarium had about $1 million or maybe $2 million in TVL total. And just this one application on Ethereum has $22 billion of TVL. So just imagine what we can do together as a DAO to shepherd that adoption and the size of this relationship. And the last one is, or not the last one, but the next one is that our pre-sale sold out. So we started this sort of around Christmas time, very early conversations with some builders in the space. That part of it and the portion of our pre-sale that is locked up under vesting periods was mostly private in different DAO communities, different holder communities, and people that were finding us very early. So that sold out in a few weeks, and then we had more of a public pre-sale where people who found our Telegram early were invited to participate, and that was at a round that has no vesting. So that sold out in just a few days, and that we just announced on our Twitter, since we only started our marketing this week, that sold out. And the next major milestone that we're looking at is really working towards our token generation event, which we've publicly stated will either be late February or early March. Given some great updates there, development is going great. Our marketing is going great. We're growing at a very sustainable rate day after day, especially now that we're marketing. And really the only things that can stand in our way are things that we can't control. So the token is under audit right now. Legal is doing their legaling. And everything from a DAO and as the developers working on the project is going super smooth. Our vesting contracts are underway. They're slated to go into audit next week. So everything going very smooth there from the aspects that we can control. And then I also pinned our first tweet, which I think is the second pinned tweet in this shareable area here. And it's a thread that is an introduction to K9 Finance. So if you click into that tweet, it's also pinned on the K9 Finance DAO profile. It's quite a long thread about everything that K9 Finance is going to do, which tokens are used in the ecosystem, how K9 Finance works, and there's a great diagram of the architecture. Yeah, those are all of the pinned tweets for K9. And I'm not sure if this is sort of the last wrap up here, but I do encourage you all to join our Telegram, which will be in the link tree at the either my bio or the K9 Finance DAO bio. You'll find our Telegram community in there, and I'm in there pretty much every day answering as many questions as I can. We have amazing moderators in there that also help out. I do see that some of them are in the room who deserve an amazing shout out, because just in the last 3 days, these moderators who are part of our community have opened up, I think, 7 different multi-language channels. So as a DAO that has been marketing for less than a week right now, it's incredible to see that we're now almost global. So we just opened a Spanish channel today. We did a Japanese AMA this morning. We have a K9 China channel that just opened. We've had a Turkish channel for a while. We're in talks to set up an Indonesian channel. So really want to make the education and the shepherding of DeFi onto Shibarium global. And I welcome everybody here to give us a follow and join our community.
I never miss an opportunity for a good call to action. That's not a problem at all. We'll do a little bit of a wrap up before I close it one more time. But Lightspeed, you want to run through your pin posts up top? What's up there?
I think I got 2, and one was already discussed, which was Tangem. So I'm just going to focus on Bybit very quickly. That is all community driven, and this is what it's all about. And Bybit did an engagement farming type of post, and our community jumped in it. And out of, oh my gosh, they had like 900 replies in there. But out of all of that, Bybit responds back to Bad Idea AI, tell me more about it. And it helped that we had some of our heavier hitter personalities that were in there to draw the attention. And boy, did we tell them about it. It took me all day to write the new pitch deck, because their requirement is to have a pitch deck and legal compliance and all that, which we also have, which I know filters out 99% of the projects. I'm quite sure none of them ever thought about being legally compliant and justify why they are not a security and why they passed the Howey test and all that. So wrote the pitch deck, submitted the application, because it would be foolish of me to sit and code on the bot all day long when the community has done something that opens up a door for me to do what I shine in. So my hope is that they reply back, they make a compelling offer. It's still got to be a good deal, but they don't charge for listings, from what I understand. But the liquidity requirement is going to be steep because they got big wallets. And so if you're going to have big traders, you need deep liquidity. It's simple as that. So we'll probably have to fundraise as a hypothetical. So I'm standing by, I'm waiting. Hopefully they're convinced. If not, I'm going to throw now that I got that documentation in the hat, I can now open up some other applications, because my company is a vetted company at Binance US. So it's already been vetted. It's an institutional account there. You actually saw me, Shane, negotiate with them in person. So that would help smooth over, their team vetting aspect in terms of, who's going to be representing this project. And so they've already done the background checks on me. So I probably will do that one over the weekend. Can't make promises. Who knows what they think of.
Still cool. That's a good example of how when somebody, it was an engagement farming post. I like that you called it that, because you knew that's what it was. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? That's the cliche. So it was cool for them to bite on it and respond back. You never know where it leads. And I'm sure the community definitely appreciates you jumping up. And like I said earlier, I read the pitch deck. I think it's fantastic. I don't know what they would think, but it'll definitely bolster the case, man. It's good work.
Yep, and then what I'm hoping happens is they do that good deal, and then I go back to multi-sig and say, you guys will be absolutely retards if you say no to this. So basically help me help you by providing something that absolutely is undeniable and has to be done. A no-brainer, and we're all going to win. So we'll see what happens. I'm ready for something like that, because I love doing that.
Well, I'd like to see what happens too. And while we were there, Crypto Droops requested a microphone check. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I just had one quick for Buzz. Will the K9 platform be totally integrated in ShibaSwap 2.0, or will your K9 application be separate from ShibaSwap?
That's a great question. So we are not building any DEX functionality directly into K9 Finance. The main product is providing that LSD, and also that people are rewarded for providing liquidity on DEXs, and then they can stake their K9 to earn from the validator. So that's what K9 does. But to answer your question, we are going to be working with ShibaSwap 2.0 to integrate the deep liquidity for K9, Bone, and Bone, working directly with the SHIB team on that. I'm not sure what information is publicly available on ShibaSwap 2.0, but they've been very helpful in providing our team and our development team with the proper information that we need to make sure that we're building a product that integrates well there. So we'll be definitely using ShibaSwap 2.0.
All right, thank you. That's it for my question.
Thank you for coming up, Droop. I appreciate it. That's a good question. And we're doing so well on time. We got 5 minutes to go to the 1 hour mark. So we're going to roll through a little bit of quick closing remarks. I would say first to everybody that was here, make sure you're following all your speakers, everybody that was here that you heard from, Mr. Lightspeed and K9 Finance, and also Buzz and the Bad Idea account. If you're not following them, you should do that. And then also thank you to Joe and Crypto Droop for coming up, and also all the questions in the various telegrams and down in the comment section. I appreciate that. So before we go, I'll ask Buzz first and then Lightspeed. Buzz, anything to say to the folks before we go? Are you going to be doing any other spaces or any other events that we can catch you at the next few days?
Yeah. Tomorrow, actually, at I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing a spaces with some SHIB friends, Xander and Ragnar. They are hosting this. I believe that the Shibarium account will be there. We will be talking specifically about the partnership between K9 Finance DAO and SHIB. So I encourage people to join in on that. It'll be much more specific to the SHIB relationship, and also just in a general overview on K9 Finance, which may be a little bit repetitive for some people here, but I think the more education, the better. And in terms of other announcements and events, I would just encourage people to follow us on Twitter and join our Telegram, because we have a pretty extensive marketing calendar built out with a lot of announcements coming up from now until our token generation event, which will be late February, early March. So you'll see some really heavy hitting advisors, some more partners. You'll see that in our updates in our Telegram, we have been approached by many different exchanges, which I think another thing that we're going to be working with the Bad AI team on is working with Mr. Lightspeed and helping us navigate that sort of landscape there, as he was speaking about. But yeah, that's about it. Encourage people to tune in tomorrow, and thank you very much, Shane, for hosting this space.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming in. And I would ask Lightspeed the same thing. Do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action for the folks before we close it out today?
Yeah, buy more bad. And we do got another Twitter Spaces coming up, X Spaces on Monday, with another project to talk about prompting. It'll be more of an educational event. We're going to have a prize, I believe, for that one that you've asked me to jump in and support. So I got to get back in there and finish that aspect of it. A lot more happening here. I always like to leave with the tease, but I'm feeling pretty good about the latter part of this month, and not just for Bad Idea AI, but Shai has gone around and checked on various projects because they want to know how we're doing, and in return we know that there's some good things coming. And Lucy has passed on a message, so please go look at Lucy's message to get a sense of where we're going. We were given a few more details on it that are encouraging. So hang in there. I just love what is in store for us, and it's all going to be good for Bad Idea AI.
Sounds good, man. When I close out, I always like to say sort of the same thing. I appreciate all the guests and all the speakers that came up here, all the listeners that took the time to be here, particularly if you listen to the recording. Always leave a comment. Let us know how the recording was, because we know not everybody can be here live. We don't forget our recorded listeners. And then what I would say is thank you to the community for letting me host. Remember, I opened by telling you I'm just a dude up here playing bad idea host. I'm not the dev. I'm just a guy. So thanks for letting me be the guy that gets to wear the bad idea suit and do these interviews. I have a great time doing it. If you like me doing spaces, I have my regular account in here too. I'm actually ghost riding the whip. If you look down there, there's a good looking little blue girl with a purple dot next to the name. It's the only one in here. That's my Pulse digital account. You can follow my regular account. I do spaces all the time in other places too. So if you're into spaces content, follow my primary account. It's much more irreverent and stuff like that. So thanks to you guys for letting me host. Thanks to Mr. Lightspeed. Thanks to Buzz and K9 Finance for joining the spaces today. This is a good one. Right at the 1 hour mark, closing it out like a true pro, you guys. There's some great sound clips here. Be sure to check the recording back later for your community, pin it in your groups so nobody misses it. And if you want to be here next time, follow the Bad Idea account, and you can even turn on notifications. We'll be live on Monday with PEA.AI for a GPT conversation about prompts. You can catch me there next time. I'll see you live on X Spaces, guys. My name is Shane, and I am out of here. Have a great day.